Elen, Scylla, Lumen, Omen Tiovo. Today I bring to you all the history of the Mannish Princedoms of Rhovanion. The Mannish kingdoms in Rhovanion were not kingdoms like that of Gondor, as Rhovanion was a wide land stretching from the misty mountains to the river running. But the settlements we will be talking about today were on the southeastern border of Mirkwood. This region would first be populated by the Northmen in the early Second Age. Before the War of the Elves and Sauron, orcs were growing increasing in numbers. The Northmen were unable to deal with the orcs on their own, being equipped with mostly bows and axes. Thus, an alliance was made between the Northmen of Rhovanion and the dwarves of Khazad-dûm. The dwarves would supply the Northmen with arms, and they would then raid the orc parties. The alliance would come to an end after the War of the Elves and Sauron, when the dwarves shut their doors, locking themselves in their mountain halls. The Northmen were now alone in their struggles, as Easterlings loyal to Sauron invaded the villages of the Northmen. Rhovanion was decimated, as the Easterling invasion nearly wiped out the Northmen, forcing them to hide in caves in order to survive. The War of the Last Alliance began and would bring an end to the days of flight as well as the Second Age. The Northmen would begin rebuilding their lives. To the south, the Dunedain kingdom of Gondor would be a great ally to the Princedoms, though there would be some Northmen who detested Gondor. For many years the Northmen would have peace, in large part due to Gondor's military might. The Northmen were given large swaths of land to defend by Gondor. When the Easterlings again attacked in 1248 of the Third Age, some of the Northmen sided with their ancient enemy out of either greed or old feuds between the princedoms. When Menelkar, the regent of Gondor, learned of this, he amassed an army and utterly destroyed the Easterlings. Menelkar showed great favor to the Northmen, especially Vindugavia, a man who called himself the King of Rhovanion. Many of the Northmen would join the armies of Gondor and would be given high rank in the army, further strengthening the alliance. Menelkar, after he became King Romendakil, sent his son, Valakar, to the lands of Vindugavia as an ambassador of Gondor. Valakar loved the Northmen, and he married Vindugavia's daughter, Vindumavi. They had a son, Eldakar, before Valakar took the throne in Gondor. In Eldakar's rule, the kin strife broke out in Gondor, and he was forced to flee to the lands of his mother. From 1437 to 1447 of the Third Age, Eldakar gathered his forces, both Northmen and Gondorians loyal to him. In the Battle of the Crossings of Erui, Eldakar had victory, defeating Castamir the usurper and reclaiming the throne. The alliance between the Northmen of Rhovanion and Gondor was strengthened as more men entered Gondor's service. Great tragedy struck when the Great Plague came out of the east. The Princedoms of Rhovanion were decimated, with over half the population succumbing to the disease. The Northmen were slow to recover from such a disaster. This weakness of the Northmen would be their undoing. The Wainrider War soon began, and these Easterlings overwhelmed the Princedoms, and after the Battle of the Plains in 1856, The Gondorian Northman army was defeated, and many Northmen would flee their homes and go to Dale in the north or join Marhwini in becoming the Eóthed, the ancestors of the Rohirrim. The Princedoms of Rhovanion were gone, and those that did not flee were enslaved. But a rebellion was planned. When King Kalimetar attacked the wainriders at the Dagorlad, the enslaved Northmen rose up and overthrew their oppressors. Despite this victory, the Princedoms of Rhovanion were never restored, and the Northmen would become the Eóthed, living in the Vales of Anduin. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, feel free to like and subscribe for more content. And please let me know how I can better improve these videos. Thanks, and as the elves say, Namarie.